Howdy folks, today I'm going to show you how to make not this whole thing altogether, but really just the cone that's inside of here as part of this set. I'm going to show the plates in another video, so today we're just focusing on the cone. I got this idea from something I saw on Instagram, and I really don't remember the artist who posted this, but thank you. It inspired me to try it. There's still probably some modifications I'm going to do on this going forward. This is my first try. But I did teach in my class last night how to do the cone part, and I want to show you that plus do some variations. So let's get started. For this project I'm using B-Mix with Grog, and the first thing I'm going to do is smooth out the texture that's on here. Next, I'm going to cut out my from my template. If you don't have a template, but you do have a cone shape form, this is not styrofoam. This is actually a cardboard cone that came from a yarn supply place. So it had thread on it. Anyhow, what I did originally when I didn't have the template is I just rolled it in the clay, and I saw the imprint of it, and I cut that out. And then from there, I found an online place to pop in these measurements for this cone, and it generated this for me. So I'm just going to use this. I'm thinking I could have cut a little better. I might have gotten 2 out of this. Anyhow, in addition to that, I'm going to need clay for the bottom, so I'm just going to save this piece over here and use that a little bit later on. Next step is to bevel the edges, and you can simply do that by using your pony roller and just going in at a 45-degree angle there. A colleague recently showed me this other technique, however, and it's taking a dowel and just gently rolling it over it. So that's fun. Okay, next thing. This cone is covered with a little nylon, and so this piece that's hanging out here, I don't want that to be where my seam is. So I'm just going to make sure when I put this on that this is off to the side. Now, because this is fresh clay, I am not going to put slip on here. I'm just going to use my finger with a little bit of water, and then I'm going to overlap. Now there's a little bit of extra clay on here with the overlap, so I'm going to first roll it in, and then I'm going to use my scoring tool to take away some, if I feel like it's needed. So this is what I do. I go crisscross. You can see the excess clay is building up here. Pretty good. I'm going to come back now with a softer rib and then just take out those lines. Now I have a nice cone shape with no seam, and if I wanted to decorate, I could go to town now and start the stamping, but I'm just going to leave this plain right now to emulate what that is. Now also from the top, if the top becomes unlevel, I just take off a little bit, and I'm eyeballing it really. Okay, that looks good. So now that the cone is ready, I'm going to just tap here. This comes right out. I'm going to put this down. An extra thing you can do if you have it is get a rounded form and just let the piece sit on that to keep the shape at the bottom. Not cut a template for the foot. Instead, I just opted to use a cutter. So now I'm going to see which cutter looks best with this. And right off the bat, yeah, this one's too small. I think this is still a tad small, so I'm just going to roll it a little bit to make it bigger. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my name on there. And I'm just going to score the edges. And once again, I'm just going to use a little bit of water. This is fresh clay. It hasn't been setting up long. I'm just going to make one more pass at round. And then bring it up and over here. Looks like it's off a little bit, so I'm just going to gently move it over. No problem there. And now what I'm going to do is put it upside down and just take my pony roller and go around the edges to make sure that it's really on there. And then once that is done, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the bottom. And I'm going to do the bottom at like a 45-degree angle. And once that is done, maybe just finger around the edge to soften it and smooth. Now, sometimes what can happen is the piece, like from the grip, gets out of shape, and I can tell I did that right there. So for me to correct that, I'm going to use a dowel to push it out. All right, so now what I would just do is soften this edge up with my finger once again, and I would also smooth out the inside. And it's a little bit thick on this side because that's where the seam was, and I didn't take away enough clay right here. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. So if you were just doing a cone for that other plate project, this would be it. Now, for the plates, the way that I would determine the holes that were in them is I would take a cutter and put it over here to see, like, well, where does it stop? So that might be my first hole in the cheater plates that I'll create. And then I'll keep going till I have another, like here. So now I know that these two size cutters will be the ones to use for that other project. So I'm not quite done with this cone yet. If I was stopping at doing it for that tiered plate project, I would just put this away now to dry. But I have other things that you can do with this. So one, I can make it into a tiny pouring pitcher, and I'm going to go opposite of where the seam was, right here, and I'm just going to use my finger and pinch it a little bit. And now you can have a little pitcher. So you could just, or an oil pour, just get a cork and put that in there, and you're done. One last type of spout that you could put on there is what I call the football spout. And the way that I make that is actually a football size or shape. So I'm going to use my cookie cutter here, and I'm going to turn around and use it again. So there's my football, and I'm going to just bevel the side a little bit, and then I'm going to go and bevel this side a little bit. So I'm beveling on both sides, and then this is going to turn like that, and I'm going to attach it here. So when I do that, let's just put it on for size, and then what I'm going to do is mark here underneath where it goes. Where that mark is, I need to come up maybe 1/4 inch from that, and that's what I'm going to take away. So I'm just going to cut that off. And then here I will score. Transition, I'm just bringing the clay up and over the spout to make sure that's smooth there. You can stop there if you wanted to, or you can add some more decorative elements. Like I might put a little ball there and stamp it. And this also will help with the joinery of this piece here. So once again, score this. Score that. A little bit of water. Now I'm going to find the right stamp. Might take me a minute. Okay, so I have this little itty bitty heart. That's what I'm going to use. So I put that on there, and then I'm just going to put the stamp in there, the heart. Okay, gross. I don't like it. I think what I'm just going to do is use, it's funny, you think something's going to work out. It's already pretty much chewed up there, so I don't have to score much. Score again. Now I'm going to take the end of the skewer and just give it a press in like that. All right, what else can I do to this? Maybe put on a handle. So let's see what that would look like. All right, so when I'm doing the handles, I want to just smooth this edge down. I don't want a sharp edge, so I'm just going to do one pass with a sponge, use my fingers. And I cut 2 strips because I guess that's an old thing from when you do pottery on the wheel. You always make extra handles. But I thought I'd try 2 different styles to see what I like. So these are my step handles. So I cut a smaller strip about 1/4 inch and I place it on top. And this strip is already moist because of my pass with a sponge. And now I'm going to apply some pressure with a roller. I'm going to take this and roll along. That one got a little wonky, but it's not bad. This one is kind of fun. All right, so if we're going to make that a handle, I'm just going to shape it. It's like half a heart here. And then I could put that on here. Actually, I think this handle is a little bit chunky for the size of this cone, so I'm just putting it on there to see if I want to do it. It's kind of cute. Or another person in class suggested maybe a rounded one. So let me see what that would look like. So I put it into a circle and then I just did my 45 degree. There's the circle, and then the circle would go right here. I feel like that's too thick, so I'm going to flatten it out here. Yeah, that's okay. I don't know. Maybe. Why not? So here I'm going to score where it's going to go. Score here. A little water on there. And then press in. So at this point, I'm off. I need to move over. At this point, I can't press too hard because this is still fresh clay. So I need support. And to do that, it's dowel time. So I'm going to put a dowel in there, and then I'm just going to press really hard and let the dowel do the resist here. All right, I think I like it. We'll see. You know, stuff grows on you or doesn't. And I still might think that this is a little chunky for this piece, but I'm going to let it roll. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the project, and I'll catch you next time.